Well, good evening, everybody. Rod back with you again. Thought I would do a video. I'll probably get a chance to update it or upload it tomorrow. I do have a little bit of an update. Did a little bit more tinkering on the Jannsenn Sons and Company side by side from Belgium, the hammer double I featured in my last video. I did go out and try a couple of just primed casings, and they went off pretty bing bang, no issues there. It was good to see that. So, also found out that the person that I got the gun from was informed that it was a Damascus barrel shotgun. Well, it does say fine Damascus on the barrels, but in what we've discovered is that it's actually a steel-barreled gun, fluid steel of some form, with a Damascus etched pattern over the metal surface to make it appear like a higher quality Damascus barrel gun. So what I done is I said, it's not a big ticket item, it's not a big money item. So I got to thinking, how about if I use some Birchwood Casey Super Blue to kind of clean up the appearance of the barrels? And they were grayed and modeled. And this isn't a museum piece. It's not a diamond by no means. It's a meat and potatoes gun. It is what it is. It's still a good old solid shotgun. You can go hunt with it all day long. But a lot of people still don't care for them. There's so many of those things that were made. So many of them were brought here. And so many of them were shot a lot and put away wet and not cared about. And you go to gun shows and you see these old Belgian things, pick them up, rattle, 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 and there's nothing left to them, and there's parts hanging off them, and you got people wanting $50, $60, and $75 for an old shotgun, and you're like, I can't do nothing with that. Well, sure you can. So here's the barrels I reblued. I gotta say, they turned awful black looking. They turned out really darn sweet, really good. Nothing wrong with that at all. And this old girl's gonna get a new lease on life, so to speak. So that's the little bit of an update on the Jannsenn Sons and Company side-by-side 12 hammer gun with etched pattern faux or false Damascus barrels. So what I'll be shooting in this gun will likely be low pressure smokeless and black powder loads for nostalgic reasons, and I don't want to beat the living crap out of the action and get it loosened up again. I've got it to the point now where a 4/1000 brass shim, there she's open, there's no play, no rattle, and she's as tight as can be. Again, just like a new gun. Nothing wrong with that at all. So it's going to last a long time. So a little update on the Jannsenn Sons and Company, or Co, as it says on the lock plates here. Side by side, 12 gauge hammer double from Belgium. Did source a butt pad. I do have a friend of mine down the South Shore, in the Valley area, I should say, who I've been talking to the last couple of days. Sent me some pictures with a measurement, and I think the butt pad he's got's going to work, or I'm at least going to make it work. So that's great. That's looking promising to have something back on the rear end of the gun here. So it's kind of plain Jane-ish, and I mean, she is plain Jane, but she looks really, really boondocky without the butt pad on there. But what do you expect? I mean, you take it in trade, take it as it is, and you do something with it. And I'm sure if the gentleman that owned it seen it now, he probably will want to keep it. Because this is actually a decent old gun. I'm not going to knock it, like I said in my last video. I'm going to hunt with this. I'm going to enjoy it just like I do all my other doubles. I'm like you know, the person that sees one of these things sitting in a corner in a closet or on a gun rack or in a basement corner or something, and, you know, that old thing, you know, at one time was a work of art, and it still can be. It's going to take some fixing and tinkering, and I'm the guy that'll do it. So this is a step in the process, cleaned up the barrels, and I gotta say, I'm impressed for a bottled bluing without any acid baths or any kind of cleaning or whatever. Just degreased them, scuffed them with steel wool, and there's 5 coats with polishing in between with steel wool. And then I coated them with oil overnight, and that's how they turn. So you can still see some of the Damascus patterns through here. I'll do another video maybe. Or you know what? Maybe I'll just grab the screen right now. I'll take you out of there, and then I'll put you back and show you the other one. So here we go. We're going to flip over. And you can still see some of that Damascus false pattern. But I mean, you know, guys, I'm not going to complain. I think they turned out just dandy for what they are. This old gun is getting a new lease on life. So there you have it. Jannsenn, Sons, and Company. Hammer Double 12. With faux or false or poor man's Damascus barrels. Even says fine Damascus for you common folk. Well, like I said, I'm going to flip you back around here. There's me again. So I'm going to put you back in the holder. Pardon my camera work. There we go. That went better than I thought. So there. You're back in the spectrum here. I'm going to put this guy down. And we're going to talk about what I picked up. So I was on Gun Post a while back. Probably I'd say 3 months ago. And a guy had this gun on there. And apparently he works away fishing offshore. So he's hard to get a hold of. So the ad was quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, but the chat log was still there. So I got a message the other night, hey, I still have the shotgun, sorry I was away working. Do you have a number I can contact you at? I'd be interested in your trade that we talked about. So, met him today, nice fella, he was straight up with me, and this gun, he actually ordered it from Intersurplus last year. He ordered this with the hopes that it would make a duck gun for him for steel shot. The chokes are just way too tight. It is a modern steel gun, 2 3/4 chambers. This gun was built in 1945, according to the markings I've found and seen. So what I have here is this. This is a Gecko, G-E-C-O, made in Belgium, right around 1945, so post-war, just after the war. Or just around wartime, I should say, or, yeah, maybe after the war. According to the markings, anyway, it's like 1945, 1946, something like that. So, it's got excellent bores, a little bit of dirt in there. I didn't really wipe it out or not yet, but they actually, believe it or not, guys, they're shiny. Real shiny. Yeah, you'll see there that there's nothing wrong with them. The bores are choked, modified, and improved modified, which is pretty much hanging on full, according to my friend's choke gauge. I was up to his place today and just confirmed the chambers are 2 3/4. They are. It's damp 70 mil, but sometimes, you know, things aren't always what they appear. So this gun does have the greener crossbolt, goes through the doll's head, and as you can see, it sticks out of the receiver there. It's a good strong locking gun, nice and tight. At one point in its life, it did have a small little crack in the forend, not a big concern. There is one thing that's not functioning on this gun. It is an ejector gun. So when you open it up, it should go click, click, and these should pop out. There's a small little leaf spring with one side of the prong cracked off. So I sent a picture to a guy I know, and he says he's confident he can make me a new one for about 25 bucks. So I'm going to take him up on that. I'm going to mail him the little piece I took out. The gun functions without it. It's just you have regular extractors. When you open the gun, I'll show you here, they'll come out about that far, and you can grab the shells and no problem take them out. So this one's got the automatic safety, so nice tight scalloped receiver. You can see on the little bolsters are scalloped in as they're relieved on the barrels themselves. So nice solid fit. There's no play. So I say this gun sat around more than anything. Original butt pad, it's a little dried out. This one's made of horn. It's not made of plastic. You can see the horns actually dried out. I was told to rub some linseed oil in there, and it should start to darken it right back up. So I plan on doing that probably tomorrow. This one's got a raised cheek piece, pretty common on like German, Bavarian, European guns. It's got a reinforcing cross bolt here. It's factory. It's perfectly flushed and bolted on both sides. It's not something that somebody just slammed in there because the gun was split. There's no cracks in the stock at all. Very, very well fit down there. I'm going to grab the phone there and I'm going to flip you around to have a better look at this. So we're going to take you out of the holder again. Oops. And we'll do one of my magic tricks, presto changeo. And here we are. So here we have the Gecko, a big G with ECO. That's the manufacturer and the name of this gun, Gecko. Not the Gecko with Geico, but you never know, it could be. So we just have a knurled matted rib. Goes down, blued steel barrels, fluid steel, modern proofed. Overall good condition. I don't think I'm going to touch these barrels that much. There's a little spot on the other side I'll show you. But overall, like, you know, there's, it's fit pretty well there. No cracks in the tang area. There's your auto safety. Checkering still okay. Nice outline, still there present. Nice cut on the checkering, on the cheek piece, sorry. Little vanity plate in the bottom. Sling swivel. And it's got like a Prince of Wales grip on it. Got a little rounded portion there. So here we go, we have blued receiver. There's your floor plate. And there's a little crack I told you about. It's only in the surface, it's not on the inside. Checkering's still good here. Some older varnish still remaining. The varnish was either removed or worn off. There's still a little bit left there. I'm going to say it just wore off. Plunger style release on the fore end. We're going to look at her. There's the ejector. The little spring is broke, as you see. It binds up and locks up in there. I took the spring out, and the gun still cocks on both barrels. And as you see, the crack doesn't come up. There's your little, that's all loosened up. There's your mechanism for your extractor, your cocking indicators, your cocking levers, and your ejectors. Kind of a complex little device there. There's the little kickers right there for the ejectors. So, oh no, not in terrible shape. Little dry crack right there, nothing to worry about. Like I said, I think this gun sat for a long time. We're going to put you back on the gun. Oh, there's some of the proof marks. Bore of 18.4, choke of 18.2, 18.3, and 18.2. So, according to my buddy Peter's gauge, it said modified and improved modified. So we'll go with that. All in all, here we are. The grip area. Checkring's good on both sides. Screws aren't too muckered with. Some thin bluing. So this gun wasn't color case hardened. It was all blued. Again, this is probably not the world's fanciest double, but it's certainly a decent quality piece. Give you a look at the top of the receiver here, the fences. Rib has some knurling and engraving there. Screws aren't in half bad shape. And there's the bone or horn. Original butt plate, gecko. You can see how the old bone or old horn material is dried out. So I'm going to re-moisturize it with some, I was told, linseed oil. You brush it in with a toothbrush will work. Again, cheek piece. And I'll tell you, when you shoulder this gun, it shoulders beautifully. So, oops. There's the other side of the stock. Nice chunk of walnut, decent color. And there's that bolt with the little knurls that's held in there. That's certainly put in by the maker. And some scalloped edges here where the stock fits inside. Like out, see a little cutout in here, so it keeps the stock from swelling or splitting apart. But I'm sure, oh, there's that spot there. I'm going to touch this up with some of that bluing, see if I can blend it in. I don't think there's a need to re-blue the entire barrels. Little spot there, maybe give it a touch. But I'm going to flip you back around. Here's my ugly face. Oh, I'm going to put you back here. So we're going to talk about it a bit more. There. So, the Gecko side by side, 12 gauge hammerless, made the mid 40s, maybe to late 40s, according to the markings. Butt pad's a bit dried out, but at least this one got a butt pad compared to the Jannsenn. And like I said, it's nice and tight. Safety goes on automatically, like now. We're gonna fire it. And I tested it on some primers. Bing bang, no problem. I don't think my neighbors would appreciate me just going in the backyard and putting pop cans up on top of a few milk crates and letting strip at it. But then again, they might not say nothing, but I ain't taking a chance, you know, the way things are these days. So this is the gun I picked up today. Like I said, traded my little Remington Model 33, 22 single shot. And I think I did okay. Now, this gun was originally purchased from Intersurplus. The gentleman told me when he bought it that it was under the impressions that because it was chambered for a modern round, that he figured 2 3/4 inch steel shot wouldn't hurt it. He never tried it. He showed it to somebody and they just told him that you can't shoot steel shot in an old shotgun like that. And coincidentally enough, he heard that comment on my channel before. He said there's a guy down from Cape Breton, he said knows all about double barrels. And he said that he preaches that you shouldn't shoot steel shot through those old doubles. Unless you get a gunsmith to put choke tubes in or ream the chokes to an acceptable diameter. But then you have to contend with wall thickness and safety there, because the new shells are more powerful, are higher pressured. Would the pressure hurt this gun? Probably not. The more damage that's going to occur is the steel shot passing through the choke restriction at the end of the muzzle. And with these guns, the old-fashioned way they choked them, they would start about right here. So most doubles, when you see the steel shot that gets shot through them, you'll see a bulge back here ahead of the choke. and then it kind of boogers the whole end of the barrel up, and you end up got to lop off probably about 4 or 5, maybe even 6 inches of the barrels, and you're back to a cylinder bore. Then you're safe to put anything through it pretty much, as long as you got this barrel thickness there. But these are nitro-proved barrels. What I'm going to do, just to be fair, I showed you some of the marks. I'm just going to take the gun apart, and then I'll flip you back around. I apologize for the flipping around, but that's the only way I got to do it. So, I'm going to attempt just to wipe a little bit of the surface area off here. I put some oil on it earlier just to free things up, and it might obscure the markings. I don't want anybody looking at the markings and saying, I can't see that. What's he trying to show us? Presto changeo. And here we go. Markings. So what we have at the first, you'll see, is 12 gauge 70, indicating 2 3/4 inch chambers. Your Crown ELG is your Liège proof mark, proof house, Liège, Belgium. Crown PV, Poudre Vivre, means smokeless powder. This little mark I'm still trying to find, but I think it's got doing with the year. I found one mark where it says 1945-46 manufactured. And here is the proof at 1 kg per 607 something. Pretty much the same marks on this side. Not as vivid as some of my English guns, eh? So there's the choke constriction, and these guns are also proof with black powder at the beginning. So there's your first preliminary proof with black powder, and then they finalize the smokeless proof to them. So your nominal bore in this gun, his barrel was 18.4 mils. This one was 18.3, and your choke restriction is 18.2 and 18.2. But because you have two different nominal bores, this is two different chokes, even though this is two same choke diameters. It's choking down two different nominal bores. So according to the gauge, improved, modified, and modified. So that's what the choke gauge said. There's your latch area for the forend. Again, guys, people knock these Belgian guns. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just workhorses, man. Like, these old girls, they probably fired a whole whack of rounds and good for a whole whack more. But, I mean, the condition is great. This gun is going to be used and, enjoyed. And it didn't break the bank. You can go out and you can buy these things for $250 and $300 and get it to your door and have a safe, modern shotgun for shooting standard loads. Go out and shoot your rabbits. Go out and shoot your partridge. If you can afford to shoot bismuth, you could go shoot ducks with it, no problem. And, if you were bold enough to go after a deer with an SSG buckshot or a rifle slug, you can so do that with this gun. The options are there. And there's your kickers here for the ejectors, and like I said, that spring is broken, so I'm going to get that repaired hopefully. There's your knuckle area, hinge knuckle, double underbites. I believe that's an Jannsenn and Dealey double underbite system, but overall a solid old shooting gun. There's those scallop sides on the barrel that mesh into the receiver face. And here I'll show you the receiver marks. There's what we got. The crown, or the Tower of Piran. The other little tiny mark, whatever that may be. Smokeless proof. And there's the firing pins. Standing proud, good shape. And the bluing's not even hardly worn on the war table. I don't think this gun saw a lot of use, to be honest with you. But, I'm going to flip you back around again. Here we are. I'll put you back in the holder for a moment. And we're going to put the old gun back together. So we're going to connect our nice and no play. And there you have it. The Gecko side-by-side Belgian, probably 1940s production, double barrel side-by-side 12 gauge, modified and improved, modified chokes, 2 3/4 chambers for standard pressure ammunition, possibly magnums of the day. I don't plan on shooting any magnums through it unless it's a slug or something like that, but for the most part I'll be out shooting something like this through it. Like these are Eli field specials, 1 1/4 ounce, 2 3/4 field loads, work just fine. If you're feeling nostalgic, you dig into Grandpa's tickle trunk and take out some of the old Sears or the Eaton Etania shells that you have a whole whack of, number 7.5 express loads. They're cool. They'll work. And if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend a pile of money on ammunition and you want to go down to the local yokel and pick up some Winchester cheapy universals, they'll shoot just fine. No issues. They will kill rabbits, kill partridge, and shoot claybirds all day long. So, there you have it. New edition. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe as always. Any comments or questions, put them below. I really appreciate everybody watching and the comments. Another spoiler that might be coming up. I spoke to another gentleman between yesterday and today. He's got 4 old hammer shotguns that he picked up in a deal. A friend of mine and myself are going to go splits on them. And we are going to get these old girls back shooting. There's a couple of top lever brake Belgian hammer guns. They're all 12 gauges. There's one that's an under lever, similar to my Model 20 Husqvarna shotgun. If you watch that video, go look it up. It's a great video. Nice gun. But it's the Belgian version of that gun. I've had a couple of them before, but this one's got twist steel barrels on it. And there's another one that's very similar to my my Jannsenn. It could very well be a Jannsenn. I don't know the particular names of them all yet. I just got a very vague photo of them. So we're getting them for a fairly economical price. You know, the guy that's got them in a deal. He has no interest in them, but he knows that I like stuff like that, so he's offered them to me. And I thought I would cut my buddy in on a couple of them and see. And he's all, oh yeah, I'll do that, no problem, buddy. I'll get in on that with you right quick. So that's great. So I can get 1 or 2, he can get 1 or 2, and we can, you know, share the deal and share the guns. That's what it's all about. Work with each other, work with your gun buddies and your channel buddies, and make videos. So hope you enjoyed. And again, like I said, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. And I'm going to see if I can get out, maybe do some shooting, just a couple of rounds out of this thing, and maybe out of the Jannsenn, and just, as the saying goes, make them go bing bang. That's what it's all about. So, ciao for now, and we'll see you guys on the next one. I'll try and upload this maybe this evening, but more than likely be uploaded tomorrow. So, watch out for it. Thanks, guys. Later.